Hey guys, Joe here, back to talk about another Bible. Got the Schuyler and brown goat skin, single column New King James. I've had this Bible for about 2 years, been using it pretty regularly. Carrying it with me multiple times a week. And this is the goat skin lining. You can kind of see how the binding's held up over a couple years of pretty regular use, and when I carry it, I don't use, the clamshell or a Bible sleeve or a case or anything like that. I just carry it with me, put it in the car, hold it in my hands, set it in the pew, leave it on my desk, what have you. And I'll write in a notepad on top of it, so some of the pages get a little crinkled, what have you. But you can kind of see how it's held up over a couple of years. Absolutely love the book block. It's from Nelson. If we go back, you can see again, even some wind blown and some crinkles. This page didn't hold up very long, as a lot of them tend not to. But it's the single column paragraph form of the Nelson New King James. And there's not a whole ton of referencing in this Bible, which is real nice for teaching in class or preaching or following along. It's not real distracting whatsoever. It's a very pretty layout. Absolutely love the font. This is one of my favorite text blocks that I have, which is part of why I've used it for so long. The paper is wonderful. It's thick. It's not line matched, so you can see here in a couple of spots it looks really nice, but then over here it gets out of match pretty quickly. But it doesn't matter. It hasn't bothered me. The paper is opaque enough that it doesn't make much difference. Really have no complaints about this one. There's one thing I wish was just a little bit different, but I wouldn't call it a complaint. And that's over here on the fold over for the liner. Has a little bit of a lip to it. Maybe you can see that a little. And that's tended to catch these end pages, particularly when I'm holding it. The front one's quite a bit worse. You can see when it's open, it wants to do this right here, and it will snag these pages pretty aggressively. In fact, the book block lays over the top of that edge, and there have been some situations where I've been holding it and the book block actually extends beyond the yap here, if you can call that a yap. But overall, it's held up really well. This isn't a Bible that I write in. There's a couple of pencil marks here and there from last minute note or a scripture reading or a devotional, something like that I just jotted down in here. But it holds up well to that. It would be really good for that. It does have good margins. It's got plenty of space to write. It's not a red letter edition, so if that's something that you have an interest in, this wouldn't be the one to get. I haven't seen these on sale anywhere in quite a while. The New King from Schuyler looks mostly like other things, but really enjoyed it. It's been nice. It's held up very well. Like I said, been a little bit rough with it, and it's held it over time. It's still pretty. Grain is really, I wouldn't call it floppy, but it's got quite a bit of softness to it. Obviously it'll go right back to where you need it to. That'll give you some context. Here's that study Bible I talked about in another video just recently, so it's not nearly that thick. And then up here, I've got the Clarion and the Pit. So not nearly as big as those, or excuse me, not nearly as small as those. They're quite a bit smaller in every dimension. Even to the side, you can see, I guess the Clarion's probably about there, but the Pit's quite a bit smaller. So you know, like I said, it's held up well. I would certainly recommend one if you're looking for a Bible with a very easy to read book block. The text is real clean, doesn't have much references. The back section with the maps are really pretty. They're a full page picture, so there's no border around them, which makes them nice and big, easy to read, nice and thick. They're not a glossy finish, which is fine. Several pages for notes. Your concordance, and then, like I said, not a whole lot of tools in it, which is just fine. Makes it a real nice Bible to use while you're speaking or use while you're studying if you don't want anything else in there. So that's how it's held up. I'm sure I will continue to use this for a long time yet. And that is the Schuyler New King James in brown goatskin. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.